Here we go. Time for D4. Mr. Nolan, 1958. Okay, should be a good game. If he moves. There he goes. E6. Well, I could transpose back into a French by playing E4, or I could continue with C4 and try and keep it a queen's pawn game. So he plays the Dutch, yeah. That's one thing you can do. If you know the French and the Dutch, you can play them against E4 and D4 players. So I think I'm going to set up the pawn structure here with pawn to E3. I don't know the exact move order here. Just know I want to put the knight on E2 to help defend against this F5 pawn push. F4. F5 to F4. The Dutch is an interesting system. Gives white a little bit of space, but it leads to a complicated game, right? There's not a lot of exchanges. It's kind of a closed position. Black can maneuver his pieces around. And yeah, it's good. A good weapon, especially for a strong player. Okay, so he put the bishop there. I didn't quite notice his move. He must have slammed that out while I was talking. I didn't hear it go. And he castled. Okay, let's get the knight out. So I guess this is some setup that he's familiar with. I don't know it. Does not speak to me. Now he's starting to think. Well, he's got to decide what to do with his queenside pieces. F5 is stopped for now. There's a hole on E4. F4 is stopped. There's a hole on E4. Maybe he could try and put his knight there. Well, right now I can take it, so probably not an idea. His pawns on D6 and E6 keep my knights out of these squares. My pieces generally out of those squares. It's a good bishop here. And I don't have to be in a hurry to castle since he's choosing this kind of slow development. And in fact, maybe I will keep on playing on the queenside for a bit. Moves like B3, A4, and bishop to A3 are what I'm thinking of. His bishop is locked in behind the pawn chain. A4 invites a knight into that square. Into B4. Yeah, let's stop that idea. Stop that knight B4 idea. Now if he pushes the D pawn, yeah, I'll trade his bishop. If he pushes the E pawn, I'll take it. And what's he going to take back with? He's going to take back with the pawn. Okay, let's get rid of that bishop. What? I was expecting him to take back with the queen, but he did go to a lot of trouble to get his queen on a light square. I guess he wants to keep that option open of the queen coming out to the H-file. With the two knights looking at the D5 square, I can't put a knight there. Maybe queen here. The bishop looking at B7. Okay, so he blocked that and keeps the knight out of this square. So how about castling queenside and tucking my king away on B2? Gets a rook immediately to a central file. And then maybe I'll start throwing some pawns forward on the queenside. I'm going to try it. Unusual way to play here. Yeah, so he's going to play b5, I guess, and try and chip away at my pawns over here. Let's go here right away. Putting it on a dark square when he has a light squared bishop. And I'm going to try and keep control of these two squares, a4 and c4. If he plays b5, I will take it. And I want to play on the king side here, so h3, g4. Pawn takes, knight takes, but I get to open up a file. Or maybe e4. Pawn to e4 takes. I take with the bishop. I take with the knight first. He pins. Then I take his knight off with check, and then bring my bishop out. Or if I push forward and he doesn't take, he pushes forward. Or he could just wait for me to take. Huh? Let's see, what invasion points do I have on the d file here? I have rook to d6. Yeah, this Dutch defense is often aimed at a quick kingside attack, or slow kingside attack. With the half open, well, with the rook behind the advanced f-pawn and then pushing the f-pawn forward. So now that just doesn't seem to do a whole lot. He could push the e-pawn forward and try and shut out my bishop. I could go to the h-file, or I could come back to the f-file and come out this way. Or maybe I just immediately undermine. But the point is that, yeah, he plays e5, probably I play f3. He plays e4, I play f3. That might leave me with a weak e-pawn. Well, he's thinking a long time here. Yeah, so he goes after my king side. So let's, well, my queen side, but where my king is. Let's start things going in the center here. Okay, yeah, so he's lining up on that diagonal and also defending the bishop. So I take, he takes with the bishop, hitting my queen. Could put a knight there, he takes, I take. He's also lining up on this f-pawn. f4. He takes, knight takes, or I take. Let's go with f4. His e-pawn is just loose, the way he's got his pieces set up. And my e-pawn is well enough defended, I guess, at the moment. And maybe I can get something to backfire along the f-file here if we open that up quickly. Okay, I was going to take here first. Maybe I could have taken on e5 first, because it does hit a knight. Okay, he's jumping in there looking at the fork. How about if I take here? What's that going to do? Go here. He goes knight f2. I go rook h to f1. I can take my rook with check. And if I go rook, and I can bring the other rook. I can go rook d to f1 if he plays knight f2. With the kind of threat on his queen there, threatening to take the bishop. Okay, so he takes back, hitting my queen. So he was also looking at this square. So if I go here, he takes my queen, I take his queen with check, and then I take the bishop. Oh, I go here, he takes my bishop. Okay, protecting the e3 square. He can still play knight f2 to win the exchange. I can play bishop takes rook. Okay, so he moved the rook. And I'm going to move my rook, right? Which one, though? I guess this one, because I need to keep the h-pawn defended. I kind of assume that's the case. Maybe not, but looks like it. To be followed up by knight to one of these squares. Knight here, maybe. So we took the pawn. So knight e4. Yeah, we're just even on pawns, huh? Knight d4, and he pins it. Can I take here? No, because the... Oh, but if he takes back, then I have bishop here. Yeah, maybe this doesn't work. It's complicated. I have this vague threat of bishop here, but I need to take off this guy first and distract his knight, and whereas he can immediately pin my knight. So rook d8, rook takes f5. He's got the check, huh? That should not be a problem. We'll see. Got to avoid the light squares. Yeah, now I have this threat. Knight takes, bishop here. Also, knight takes, I just take his knight. So he's got to find something here. He hits my knight. Okay, so knight takes bishop anyway. He takes my knight, I take his knight. And he pushes the pawn. Let's try it. I can always take his knight with check. Oh, I can go here with check. Knight h6 check. Looks pretty good. So then I get 2 knights. He gets my knight. Not threatening that because it's defended, but I am threatening bishop here. He can take here with the rook, but he didn't. Okay, let's see what he has to do. What does he have to say about this? Yeah, the queen goes with check. Yeah, he resigned. There's nothing he can do there because the queen goes with check, even if he pins my bishop. So a nice win for me. I think I will upload this one and check it out in a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.